So I know all of you are aware by now of the massive hurricane that hit several states over the last few days, which was Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and North Carolina. And there's a lot to talk about, from how the storm unfolded to the devastation to the aftermath to the response that has occurred since then. So I want to talk about all of it. Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. If you are new here, welcome. I do appreciate you clicking on the video to watch it. And since you are here, I would love it if you would help me to grow this channel and hit that subscribe button now and turn on your notifications so that you never miss an upload or a live stream. And to those of you that are returning, you know how much I truly do appreciate your continued support, and I hope that you are subscribed as well. So guys, if you are anything like me, I know that you have been keeping at least one eye on the devastation that was caused by Hurricane Helene since it rolled in on Thursday evening. And there are a few different things regarding this situation that I want to talk about, from the timeline of the hurricane and what areas it impacted. There's also the response from FEMA, from charities and individuals that have done their best to help, and the response from our government, as well as some people's personal input. Of course, leave your comments and your thoughts below. First, we're going to get into how this all played out. This is an article from the New York Post that says Helene's path of destruction, how storm devastated 6 states in one weekend. Hurricane Helene dissipated Saturday, but massive rains brought by the storm have left many people stranded and without power as cleanup began from the monster tempest that killed scores of people and caused billions of dollars in destruction across a wide swath of the southeast. At least 133 deaths have been confirmed. So September 26th in the evening, it started in Florida. It says a Category 4 Hurricane Helene made landfall on shore of Florida's Big Bend on the evening of September 26th. The storm touched down near Perry, Florida, just east of the Osceola River. Winds were sustained at 140 miles per hour, with gusts to 155 miles per hour in the eye of the wall of the storm. The hurricane killed at least 13 people. Moved on to South Georgia on the morning of the 27th. Says Hurricane Helene was downgraded to a Category 1 storm upon making landfall in South Georgia, and then became a tropical storm. The area sustained wind speeds slowed to 70 miles per hour. At this point, life-threatening winds, flash flooding, rain, and storm surges are ongoing throughout Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. By Saturday afternoon, it hit North Carolina. It says mandatory evacuations were in place for some residents of Asheville in western North Carolina, as catastrophic rain caused severe flooding in the region. Over 100 people had to be rescued, according to Governor Roy Cooper. In Asheville, North Carolina, a total of 13.98 inches of rain fell from September 25th to the 27th. At least 40 people died in Asheville area, and a tornado injured 15 in Rocky Mount, and 600 people remain unaccounted for in Buncombe County, North Carolina, which encompasses Asheville. In the evening of the 27th, it hit Tennessee. Reports reveal that 73 remain unaccounted for in Unicoi County, Tennessee. And then September 28th, the aftermath, this says Helene's fierce and unstoppable storm surge has left some homes in Florida completely obliterated and just rubble. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said at a news conference Saturday, over 200 people were rescued from the North Carolina floods. What I have heard, this devastated the mountain region specifically because these are areas that are not used to receiving storms like this. These people are not used to hurricanes. This is the type of storm that does not typically make its way through the middle of these mountain areas. And that is probably the most devastating impact that we know of yet, because these areas are now impossible to get to and to reach people that might need help. To get an idea of what firsthand witness accounts of this stuff looks like, I have a couple of clips I want to play really, really quick.
Oh, God. There went the 107 bridge. I can't believe it. Oh my God.
So that is what some of this devastation looks like. And since then, we have obviously gotten a lot of updates about the extent of the damage, though I think it's obvious that we're not going to understand the level of true devastation for years to come, as we did not understand with Hurricane Katrina. But it goes without saying that this is very, very serious. And it's not just a few homes that are floating away, as we just saw there, but imagine this happening to thousands of people. We're also getting death toll numbers every single day. I believe the toll is up to around 130, 140. I don't think that it can be overstated that for some of these areas, this is not the same as getting a hurricane in Florida. Some of these places, again, are just not prepared for things like this, not even mentally and emotionally, because this is something that went straight through these mountains and people essentially had little to no warning for what was about to happen. So on top of all that, I do want to hear from a couple of people that are in this area describing what is going on, because I think that it is important to connect with these people and hear from them straight from their mouths, straight from their homes, straight from their communities, what it is that they're seeing, because I think this is going to give us the most accurate depiction of what these people are facing. We're not going to get this from the mainstream media or the news. And as I've noticed, and maybe you have noticed, they have been surprisingly or unsurprisingly unconcerned with this event.
So amongst, the damage, flooding, everything that we've already had to be dealing with, the cell service and internet gone, 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 gone. I wrote things down because I want to talk about them. I've been seeing a lot of videos on TikTok today about people trying to find their family members around where I live, and I just want to give some context to what is happening. Basically, is that we have absolutely no signal. Not Verizon, AT&T, nothing. All towers are down. One Verizon guy today said that it might take up to 20 days for them to get it back online, days without service, and being able to contact people's loved ones to make sure to tell them that they're okay. And even after that is another layer when it comes to internet. If you do not have Starlink or any other satellite radio internet, you don't have internet. And not even to mention, because all this, no 911. My town's 911 center and everyone's around here gone. So there's still people being trapped and needing rescued, and they can't contact anyone because of this cell phone issue. Money wise, no one can use a debit card right now because, as we saw earlier, there's no cell phone and there's no internet. Nothing, there's no way for any machines to be communicated with anywhere outside of here. So you can only use cash. So if you only have $20 on you, that's what you have.
I know that that video may have been a little bit hard to hear, but she's outlining all the ways that we probably wouldn't even think about, that if the internet and the cell phone service goes out, we're pretty much out of luck. And not only that, not only can these people not call 911 if they need help, but the emergency response centers are gone. They also can't access their bank accounts because of the internet. There's no way to actually communicate with your funding institution to get your money out. So if you don't have cash on you, you are out of luck. And of course, that is going to lead to problems of looting.
Share with y'all some things you may not know about what's happening in the North Carolina mountains in the aftermath of Helene. Here's number one. If you have friends or family that are headed into the mountains or who live there, the looting has picked up major steam. I was advised yesterday by a county sheriff to make sure that anybody out and about is carrying, and in his words, carrying with the safety off. There are very aggressive people out there, and I'm just going to go ahead and say this. It's not because they're necessarily awful. They're desperate. Desperate people do desperate things, y'all. And why are they desperate? Because there's no water in some of these communities. We have neighbors in North Carolina with no water. And all I can say is this: the government ain't coming to save you. Not now, not ever, because they don't care about you, the people, anymore.
And I think that's a message that we all need to remember, because the people that are stepping up, that have stepped up in all of these situations, whether it be East Palestine or Lahaina, or now here in North Carolina and Tennessee and Georgia, the people that are stepping up to help most are individual people using their resources, finding ways to get in and get help to these people, because yes, I'm sure FEMA plans on doing something eventually. But as we saw with other situations that have been complete disasters in the last couple of years, this response has been very slow, and the assistance that they have offered people has been minimal. Of course, after all of this, rightfully so, people are asking, where's Joe Biden? Where's Kamala Harris? Because I'm sure that we have all forgotten right now, because it really is easy to forget that is how ineffective and non-present these people are in their roles. Joe Biden is still the president. Kamala Harris is in the White House, the person that is campaigning on promising to make our lives better and rescuing us from inflation and saving us from all of these disasters. There's a disaster right now, and she has been pretty much absent from this whole situation, and people are noticing, even on CNN.
The optics of this over the weekend for Biden and Harris have been pretty poor. I mean, North Carolina is underwater. These people are devastated and struggling. But you've got Biden at the beach and then saying, what do you want from me? I got on the phone while I was at the beach. And you've got Harris out raising money on the campaign and then taking a photo on a plane. Now, I remember George W. Bush was pilloried for having a photo taken from Air Force One. She's got a photo on a plane, and the earphones don't appear to be connected to the phone, and the paper looks like it's blank. So it looked like a stage sort of thing. I thought the optics for them were very bad.
This is the photo that they are referring to, where she is on an airplane. She has got her thing plugged into her ear, but it looks like she's not actually listening to anything. And it looks like the paper is blank, though I understand that when you take photos, sometimes it can blow things out. So who knows if there is anything on there. I'm sure she's doing a crossword puzzle or playing tic-tac-toe. But it's interesting that people got so mad at George Bush when he was flying over Hurricane Katrina in an airplane and just looking at the devastation. And for some reason, people thought that that optic was terrible. She's not even looking out the window. She is in her own little world, in her own little comfy jet, and has yet to really do anything but fundraise for her campaign. And of course, the media is really mad that Trump actually showed up in Georgia with resources and donated $25 million to the cause. And not only that, he authorized a GoFundMe to raise money for the victims and people that need help that reached $900,000 in 1 hour. For those that are still planning to vote for Kamala because she cares so much about us, I would love to see the argument for this, because what I have seen online is, of course, people making excuses for them, saying that Biden and Harris are trying to stay out of the way and not get in the way of rescue efforts and not draw attention to themselves. But in my opinion, and what seems to be supported by evidence, is that Democrats are the only ones that are dumb enough to make excuses for their leadership not showing up for them and actually arguing that it is a good thing. And if we were hoping to get any answers from KJP, she is about as willing to keep us informed on the situation and the whereabouts of her boss as anybody else is.
On Helene, people in Western North Carolina were drowning in their houses this weekend. Others were losing everything. President Biden was at his beach house, and Vice President Harris was hosting political fundraisers on the West Coast. Is there a reason that they could not be here?
All right, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Another way that Trump is stepping up to help people in need is working with Elon Musk to get internet access to these people. So they are trying to get Starlink in there so that we can resume communication with them.
And to every family that's been displaced here in Georgia and North Carolina, which has really been hit. We were going there also, and they don't have communication. They don't have anything right now. We're trying to. I just spoke to Elon. I'm getting him. We want to get Starlink hooked up because they have no communication whatsoever. And Elon will always come through.
There are so many other aspects that I could touch on, but to end this video, it has actually been, I don't know if shocking is the right word anymore, because I think people's behavior has stopped surprising me right now, but I think that we still need to put it on display nonetheless. So there have been a couple of people posting on TikTok that actually made the conscious decision to go on TikTok and post that they actually think people in red states deserve this.
So when I seen the hurricane hit North Carolina and Tennessee, the first thing I thought was, damn, there goes some racists. There we go. We got some gone. And then I just seen this video that like the area it hit is like sundown town after sundown town after sundown town, and they are just completely flattened and gone. And I was like, God's work. God's work.
And then there was this one.
Down until MAGA Republicans in Florida become socialists, begging for taxpayer handouts so they can rebuild in 3, 2, 1.
I think it's important to remember that when disaster strikes, this hurricane does not care who you voted for. It doesn't care if you're a Democrat or Republican or an independent. It will wipe you out completely. You have no moral superiority at all when you are wishing the death upon millions of people and labeling all of these people, millions of people across several states, as racist, even though you know absolutely nothing about them. So thinking that this is God's work is absolutely abhorrent, and you are a despicable person. Really, the second woman has no idea what she's talking about whatsoever, because yes, conservatives are in favor of small government and want to curb our spending and not constantly plunge our tax dollars into agencies and programs that are not benefiting the American people. But of course, we see the benefit to having social safety nets, to having welfare programs, to having these rescue programs, particularly for situations like this. And we expect people to do their job, the job that we are funding them for, when the need arises. Those are not the only videos that I have seen like that. But of course, I'm waiting for the mainstream media to say that it is Trump's fault that these people are wishing death and destruction on millions of people. But in reality, can we just acknowledge that these sick and twisted far leftists are really just people that have no soul, that have no morals, and they really actually enjoy chaos and violence and feel justified in directing it for Trump supporters and people on the right because of the media rhetoric, because the media has made this type of thing okay. Anyway, I would love to hear all of your thoughts on this in the comments below. Please be sure to hit that like button, make sure that you are subscribed. Keep it real, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.